Hello boaters, welcome to Narrowboat Journeys. Today's trip on the Oxford Canal starts at bridge 189, which is called Belcher's Lift Bridge. This bridge is normally up, so you don't need to worry about it. And we're going to head on through Aynho Weirlock, crossing the River Cherwell, and then to Nell Bridge Lock. And I'm going to moor up shortly after Nell Bridge. As you can see, the colour of the canal water is very dirty. This is because the River Cherwell is in flood, and it's still in flood, but it's been pouring into the Oxford Canal for quite a few days now. It's no longer feeding into the canal, but the river level is still very high, so we shouldn't have any problems up ahead. Provided we can get under the bridges, we'll be fine. Well, here we are at Aynho Weirlock. It's on the other side of this lock, just beyond that bridge, is where it gets interesting. Now, the pound above this lock is only a small one, but the River Cherwell feeds directly into it. It flows right across the canal at a right angle from right to left, There's a large weir, but it's got a wooden barrier. It's very strong. It's quite safe, really. Even when there's quite a flow on the river, it's pretty safe to do it, provided you've got enough headroom to get under the bridges, because when the river's in flood, the water levels go up, thus restricting your headroom. So that's the main thing you've got to be careful of. The wooden weir barrier will actually protect you from, any damage. Above the lock is a water level indicator. This is going to give you a good idea of what the river's like. As you can see from the photo I've taken, it's currently in the red, which strictly speaking means you shouldn't go up there. The thing is, CRT do not give you stoppage notices based on the condition of the river. They declared the day before that the passage through Nell Bridge was safe. They're only really concerned with the headroom under the bridges, not so much the flow. So if you choose to go through when it's on the red, you do so at your own risk. It's a bit of a funny situation, really. I chose to carry on and go through because I've been through here many times and I know what to expect with the river. And I'm also pretty confident that I'll get under the bridges. That's the major consideration as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it's as dangerous as it sounds, though, as you'll see when we go through. Plenty of other boats come through when it's like this. Even all of the local hire boats, they all come through, even when it's worse than this. It's mainly the headroom under the bridges that you need to be concerned about. Okay, here we go. Now the flow of the river flowing from right to left is going to want to push you up against that bridge, but don't worry, because the bridge is heavily protected with a huge wooden barrier. So the trick to do this is leave the lock gate open unless you've got a crew to close it for you. If you're on your own, just leave it open, power out of the lock and keep on going with a bit of power. There's the river on your right and it's flowing across. You've only got to get really to that tree and then the flow stops. So now we're out of the river channel, so there's no flow anymore. The levels are still high. We boat motor on past the bridge, and then you'll see there's a lock landing just up here. and I'll tie up there and go back and do the lock. It is a bit of a walk on your own. Okay, coming up ahead is a bridge with a very busy road, the B4031. You have to cross this because immediately on the other side of the bridge is Nell Bridge Lock. So you've got to cross the main road. You can leave your boat on this side, cross the road to go down to the lock, get the lock ready, come back, take the boat through. It's a bit of a procedure on your own, but it is a very busy road, so you do need to be very careful on that one. It's fast. Now when the water levels are high, getting under not the first part of the bridge but the narrow archway, that can be the problem. That can stop you dead in your tracks if the water levels are too high, because it's a low bridge at the best of times. But previous day CRT declared it safe, so I'm gonna chance it. If you've got a lot of stuff on your roof, you might have a problem. Okay, the lock's ready and here we go through the bridge. Now if there's any doubt as to the headroom of a bridge, you need to go very, very slowly. It looks like I'm going fast, of course, because this is time-lapse, but believe me, I was going very slowly. I pointed the rear view camera forwards for this bit, so it might capture any action that took place on the roof. and it's a bit hard to see, but my sack trolley got stuck on the roof there. Luckily the wheels were pointing upwards, so they rolled rather than dragged. And we're through. When I came back down this way a couple of weeks later, the water levels had risen again, and I got stuck at Nell Bridge for about a week. There was no one getting underneath Nell Bridge. But of course, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know all about that. There aren't any facilities at Nell Bridge, but there is a winding hole immediately to my left here. This is another easy lift bridge, it's always up. I like those. Coming up on the left is the pig place. It's like a farm shop really, they do all sorts of things there. I'd suggest you look online to see what sort of things they sell and services they offer, as I've not actually been in there myself. Well, that's the locks and the river negotiated safely and successfully. This looks like a good place to moor up. So thanks for watching. Tune in again because the journey will continue. I'll see you next time.